Oh, have we a technical issue, Mr. Brown?
So welcome to the first live Codec Moments podcast at the point at which I'm actually hitting record. so many things.
So when I sat here and said, before we go live, have we got everything set?
Apparently not.
Are we starting again?
Should we just give it the old intro?
Yeah, okay.
Sorry, everyone.
There you go.
Hello, and welcome again to the Codec Moments, Codec Momentum live broadcast.
In my defense, if you're listening to this on the actual podcast that is now being recorded, it's the first time.
All we can say is at least we didn't do an hour before you realised you'd not pressed record.
That would have been more embarrassing. I'm not ashamed to admit.
So we let's do the intros. Who have we got? Tuck Thunder Horse is not with us. Stop masking what is going on. I've obviously got Andy with me. You've heard him already. And supporting as ever is Ali Gonwolf.
Hello.
This all feels a very, very deja vu at the moment.
It does.
Yeah. I mean, should we cut to the chase and talk about this is the Codec Momentum update and what we've been playing?
I think we might have to, just so we don't bore the socks off those poor people who joined us at 9 o'clock and we didn't even start till 25 to 10. So, Ali, tell me again, what have you been playing for your Codec Momentum?
The main game I've been playing is Shadow of the Tomb Raider again. It's a bit strange. I've been enjoying playing that. It's different to the other ones. I think I preferred number 2 or number 1 over it, just because they stripped away some of the survival aspects of it. But yes, it's still a very enjoyable game and looks really, really pretty as well.
It is pretty stunning. It is. The increase in number of tombs was a definite bonus for me. That was lacking from the other games. I don't know how you felt about the story. I felt it was a bit meh. I didn't really care.
It rushed as well, I think.
Yeah, towards the end when you got through it, you were doing the stuff that you'd done from the previous games, heading along this linear path, exploring, surviving, all the stuff, but I just wasn't engaged with the whole eclipse end of the world thing for picking a bit of rock up.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. But it's another one of those games where it opens up, or there's so much to do, even though I've finished the game. I didn't do a finisher, because that'd be insane. So I've ticked that box for a Codec moment, but there's still so much to do. Plus, I got because it was a Christmas present, I decided to treat myself to the season pass.
Yeah.
So I've got all the extras to do as well, and I think they've literally just or about to release the third one of those. And there's so much to do in the game.
I think it's 4 now.
Oh, it's a 4.
I think because I've done 1 and I think I've got 3 lined up left to go and have a look at. So they're coming fairly regularly, and they're a nice challenge. They're a good diversion for about half an hour, 40 minutes from the one I've done so far, which is good. So it's extra tombs coming. Yeah. So that was your Codec Momentum, but I'm gathering that through March that wasn't the only game you played.
No. So the big one really is the Division 2. I've put an insane amount of hours into it. I don't know how much. That's
certainly more than I have. There's no denying that. I'm just a poxy level 15 halfway to the end game.
So I'm on World Tier 2 or 3. So when you get to end game, and you've hit level 30 and you've done all the missions, the whole world kind of tears up with you. So I think I'm World Tier 3 now, ranking up my gear, having a good time with that. It's nice that there's differences to the missions. So although you are replaying some of the same missions again, or a lot of the missions are the same, they're different. You take different courses through them, and the enemies coming from different ways, and there's different enemies in there. And whatnot. So that's nice that it does vary it enough compared to what was in the first game, where it was like, right, now the enemies are just harder and you just got to keep replaying them with different things. And they're constantly adding different bits as well. So they've literally yesterday, they've just added there's a special event on for about a month where you can do different missions within the game, or kind of like a tick box exercise, complete so many missions in a certain area, and you're unlocking different apparel. So there's like a little event on for that, and they've just unlocked tier 5, I think it is, and I think the 8-man stuff as well. Not 100% sure on that, but
right. Nice. Well, I know there is a lengthy, a lot longer than I expected, actually, podcast on that that you did with Stuart Cullen that went out last week. And actually, there is a lovely amount of detail in that about how that game works. And I'm not one for those sort of shared world multiplayer shooters, but actually, it sounded really interesting, and it might be something I think about later on to add to the pile of shame.
No, it's definitely worth picking up. My only negative criticism about it would be that it's a harder game to play on your own. You have to. It's very much geared towards co-op. So if you haven't got someone, it's very good how it ranks it up. So unlike Division 1, I know one of your bugbears, Matt, was the fact that when you went into a game with Andy or anyone else, and you were like say level 4, you were just starting, and they were level 30, you couldn't do anything. You just had to sit back.
You're
stay out of the way.
Definitely just going to die constantly.
Whereas in this, it's not the case. They've done the scaling really well, so you will still get some benefit from it from someone else joining your game and different things.
All right, cool.
So they've done good on that.
Excellent. Anything else in the last month of interest?
After we had our podcast about it, I literally, as we've hit stop recording, I picked up Trials Rising on the Switch.
Has it bricked your Switch as well?
No,
yes.
Don't. This saga, this absolute saga. My Switch died, like properly went dead. Nothing would work. Tried all the top internet sources for how to fix Switches, and that wasn't having any of it. 3 weeks, sent it back to Nintendo. 3 weeks for them to look at it and basically go, I'll just send you a new one.
Oh,
but it's back now, and I can play Trials Rising again.
Have you got all your unlocks?
Do you know, this is the weird thing? So the cloud, the what is it? The Ubisoft club, obviously has some of your progression saved. So all of my unlocks, equipment, bikes, some of the progress in the Trials University and stuff, some of that was saved. But all of my level progress and all of my everything that I'd unlocked in terms of different countries and different events, that was all reset. So it's been a bit of an XP boost going back and doing all of that again.
So you're massively leveled up.
Yeah, so it's kind of worked out well. So there you go. There's a good tip if you want to get a really good high Trials level, brick your Switch and get a new one.
Seems a bit extreme.
Always good consumer advice.
Yeah, and then anything else, Ali?
I sent a code through because Motorsport Manager is now on the Switch, so I've been playing that a bit. It works really well. It's the usual kind of the way the menu system works if you're using the controller. So it kind of like nudges along the different squares and things to click on, or you can just use the touchscreen. So it works really, really nicely.
Cool.
And it's kind of a combination of the latest one on the iPad and what's on PC. So yeah, really nice. I enjoy it. I love that game anyway. It's really addictive, and the fact that it's now on my Switch and I haven't got to carry my iPad around is a bonus.
Yeah. I think it's one of those that needs ported into as many devices as possible. I'm still playing the original one. I know about 3 or 4 iterations behind it, but it's just such a lovely game.
And the last game I've played literally really quickly because it was this morning is Lemmings is on mobile devices. So I've literally only done the first 2 levels. It seems to work pretty well. You just tap on the screen where you want for them to dig, or a stairway to go, or where you want the parachutes to go, and different things. Seems to work really well. Only 2 levels in. It's free. There is apparently pay options in it. I don't know whether that's just game time or whatnot, but I'll report back on more once I've played it more. But always a fan of those games from the 90s.
Well, I feel like I've been playing them for about 30 years. So
it might be 80s. I don't know.
Early 90s, definitely. But still very playable now.
Yeah. What about yourself, Matt? What have you been playing?
Well, momentum-wise, I had 2 on the slate, and I've been meaning one of these for a long time. Horizon Zero Dawn DLC, Frozen Wilds. Okay. I really wanted to get through that, and I think it was the thought that people had said, it's about 15 hours of gameplay for the DLC, and you're thinking, when am I going to fit 15 hours in? But actually, I quickly realised it's 15 hours if if you bother with all the collectibles and everything else. And
okay.
I just went through for the story, just to polish off Aloy's full adventure, and it was really good. It's nice to go back after about a year and still enjoy it, still enjoy the mechanics and what it offers in taking down robot dinosaurs. I mean, that's what it is.
It's a very enjoyable game. It's one I need to go back and finish. I think I got wrapped up in the hype a little bit, and everyone was saying how good it is and I've got to complete it, and then I just couldn't get the enthusiasm to finish it. But I know I need to go back and finish that one off at some point. I'll have to submit it soon.
It's a lovely game, and I do hope we get a second one because Guerrilla did a fantastic job, and I still think it pushes the PS4 to its limit almost. It is that phenomenal in what it delivers. And then the other one, which I didn't realise how close to the end I actually was, although it still took a bit of doing, was Farpoint. So I bought this with the aim controller when it first came out.
Oh, okay.
I'd done about 3/4 of it, and then for some reason I put it down, and I can't remember why. So I picked it back up again, completely forgetting nearly 2 years on how to play it and starting 3/4 of the way through the game, which resulted in lots of death. But actually, you know what? It wasn't a bad game, and I can't figure out why I put it down. I think they've done a lot of work on it. There's been a few patches. They've made it more playable. It's a lot smoother in the first-person controls, and maybe I'm a little bit more used to first-person on it now as well. And yeah, I actually enjoyed getting to the end of it. The story was quite interesting, and it's left itself open for a sequel.
Oh, something I wish they'd add into games. And it's mainly for people that have Powers of Shame and get the new and shiny when they come out, play it for a couple of hours and then put it down to go back to something else and then go back to it. Is kind of like almost like a training level. So in the menu, just something so you can just jump in and go,
that is
this is
genius.
what you forgot. Yeah, I'd love a game to do that. Just the amount of times I pick up a game and go, I'm going to really either knacker up my save or I'm just going to have to roll with it and then kind of do a cheeky quit out the game so I don't mess it up, but just something so you can just go, here's what you forgot to play the game. Just go in.
You've already mentioned the Division, and Ubisoft actually do that reasonably well. When you're playing through a Ubisoft game start to finish and you don't take any breaks, it's annoying as hell when every single 10 seconds you're getting pop-up text telling you this is what you do, this is how it happens, this is how it works. But actually it means you can go away for several months and come back and it's still telling you how the game works, which they don't do a bad job, but I know what you mean. A separate tutorial mission would have been quite good. To be honest, just checking the controls would have helped me not blow myself up with a grenade in the first 15 seconds. But yeah, they were the two I wanted to get done. I ended up on a bit of a VR trip after that, and I bought Astro Bot Rescue Mission because I missed it last year, and I had a fair amount of credit on my game card after doing some trading. So I picked that up. That is brilliant. That's such a good game.
I think didn't Kev complete that or pick that up as well? I know the two of you were talking about it. Was it after last year or the year before?
I can't remember if he did, but if he has and he still hasn't put his VR on, he ought to. It is really, really good. And then same as you, I've done some Trials Rising. Brilliant game. Enough said about that one. And Beat Cop.
Oh, yeah.
Which is 8-bit, 16-bit. Pixel arty style game as usual. I couldn't care less about usually. When I played this,
and I've got it.
I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the absolute over the top 80s 90s cop vibe. It's silly and serious and downright dark, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I've got that on my PC. I think it was on offer on Steam at some point a year or so ago. And I need to go back and finish it off, but that is loads of fun.
It is. Yeah, very surprised at that. Never thought just policing one street and giving up parking tickets would be so entertaining. It's good. It's good. Mr. Brown.
Yeah.
You played anything?
The Game of Life.
Excuse me, the Game of Life. Well, the board game, that'd be amazing.
It's a crap game.
I've been playing The Division 2. as well.
And we did jump on after that podcast as well.
Yeah, we really did. So that was a lot of fun. I've also been playing Framed.
Oh,
which is a really interesting like mobile puzzle game where it's basically like a comic book layout.
Yeah.
So each screen, each level is a page from a comic book, and the action kind of takes place from left to right and then down as if it were you were reading the pages. But it starts at the top corner, and you have to move the frames around or rotate the frames, and there's only one kind of the variants that you can make where the character can get from the beginning of the page to the end of the page without, succumbing to the police or dogs that'll bite them and stuff like that. Really interesting game. And I played that and started playing the sequel as well.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
Yeah, really good stuff.
Excellent. Right, so we've got to do this because we've been nattering on for nigh on 15 minutes now, longer than that if you were with us right at the beginning. And this is the bit where we work out whether live is the right thing or not. Do we have any feedback, listener questions? Cornwolf Corner.
Got an outrageous opinion? Then make Ali say it out loud.
Cornwolf Corner.
So yes, they've been very chatty in the old chat. Saint Stu, are season passes worth the money, or are they a fob off of getting a sequel sooner?
Well, that's a good question. I'm split on them. I've found recently if it's like a gold edition of a game, I think they tend to have been reasonable value for money, and Trials Rising is one definitely for the value on that. But it depends on the game. It depends how much you want. If it's a season pass that's just chucking your cosmetic items, I think that's just a total waste of money.
Yeah, it depends on the game. Some force it down your throat, like your Call of Duty games, where you kind of feel like you have to get it. If not, you can't play with your friends. But then stuff like, for example, I brought the season pass mainly because Ubisoft sent me the game for free, but I got the season pass for Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And I always still try and support the games. I know they're a massive company, but I got the season pass. So there's loads and loads of content with that and free items and whatnot. But also, which I didn't realize, is I got a free copy of Assassin's Creed 3 remastered. Which is quite nice.
I'm sorry.
I know.
My
Yeah,
condolences for that. I wouldn't wish that on anyone.
But you did. Whatever that was.
Matt gets it.
Sometimes with the season pass you get a free copy of the game. We all got was it Far Cry 3 when we brought Far Cry 5 season pass?
Yeah, very true. Yeah, we got that. So there's some good, there's some bad. It's down to the game and selected on what you want. As long as you know what the content is up front, I think that's your decision.
Yeah, because there are some, like, is it with the gold edition of Trials Rising where it's just like you're going to get some stuff but we don't know what it is yet?
No, it's listed. It does tell you.
Is it listed?
Yeah, it gives you there's a little insert in the box that tells you what the content's going to be.
Yeah, but I'll give you that one with so many companies putting out roadmaps where they're just incredibly vague about what is coming up. You can see how people are. Yes.
Metro Exodus. There is a season pass. That
might be the one I'm thinking.
No word on what the content is, and even the weapon they said that you got with the season pass isn't in the game.
I really like the way that Hitman are kind of putting out the content doing that, because they're putting out like a monthly roadmap as to the content and the elusive targets and stuff.
Only been 2 pieces of season pass content so far. One was a costume and one was the latest sniper challenge level. But yes, I suppose it depends on the game and how much you love the franchise or the developer and whether you want to support. Who else have we got, Ali?
Fury AC3, Stuart Cullen, is just put, but is it a looter or a shooter? So I guess he's on about a looter or a shooter.
Ah, the looter shooter.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's a bit of both.
It's neither.
I think it's
Well, I don't even know what game he's talking about.
Division 2.
Did you
not even listen to that podcast?
Yeah,
I did, but
Easter egg at the end.
You didn't put subtitles on it, so I didn't understand about a third of it.
Kevney has put, is anybody still playing Star Trek? He found his copy the other day.
Oh yeah, no,
And
the Bridge Crew.
As well.
I've still got it installed.
Yeah, we should play that. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, we ought to actually. That's a good idea.
He's still got Astrobot, and Saint Stu again has asked, "What's your highest rank on Tetris 99?" Mine is rubbish because I'm rubbish at that.
I think mine's about in the 30s or 40s, but that's about it.
And I've not played it.
Yeah. And then there's just been quite a bit of chatter about VR and people wanting to buy VR. Square Freak wants to get a VR, but I don't think there's one compatible for his S10 Plus just yet.
Okay. Well, I think actually that brings into a nice little. I'm going to use it as a segue.
Ooh.
Into what?
Into some news.
Oh, news. Hold on.
So speaking of VR, there have been a couple of VR announcements recently. Sony did a whole showcase of all the VR games that are coming up over the next 6 months. And in fairness to them, when they put that out there, some of these were coming within a matter of weeks and look fantastic. Blood and Truth looks amazing. And that is one I'm definitely picking up, but it's not the one I'm going to talk about. The one I was most interested in, because we think we predicted this about 2 to 3 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
In
That's one.
in
Yeah.
a speculation podcast. And it might have been one of our old colleagues, Graham, who covered it. But No Man's Sky coming in VR, having that entire almost infinite universe as a fully immersive experience looks incredible. And from what I'm reading, you use the Move controllers to do everything, even down to closing the cockpit canopy above you. So pulling it down, gripping the controls, and being made to feel like you genuinely are completely in control of piloting that ship or walking around. It's a free patch. I've loved everything they've done with No Man's Sky, and to chuck a VR mode in, I could well be losing quite a lot of my summer to that.
I think it's got the right graphics, that because it is, I won't say cartoony, but just the way it is with the pastel colours and things, I think it will work very well in a VR headset. You won't notice too much of a downgrade in the quality.
You shouldn't do. It should work really nicely. And from the reports I've been reading so far, it does. And I think we can expect that. It's about, well, they said summer, so I think the next update was like August time. So I'm assuming we'll be like a fairly similar point that we're going to do that. But it wasn't the only piece of VR news from the last week, and slightly more recently. Did you see the stuff on Nintendo's Labo VR, the cardboard stuff?
Yeah, I've not seen it working, but I've seen that they are venturing into VR, which is very interesting.
It's had some good feedback from the people who've had hands-on with it. It's supposed to be really nice. But interestingly, they are going to do Breath of the Wild, the full game, in VR. So they're going to provide the support for it, which fantastic idea. But there's a little niggle I'm hearing, is that the way that Labo works, you're having to hold it physically in front of your face.
Yeah, because it's made out of cardboard, and the Switch is great, and it's not heavy, but it is once you've strapped it to the front of your face.
But you're not strapping it; you're holding it, and your controls are there, and you can't necessarily reach them. And obviously, you can detach things, but if you're going to detach your controllers, how are you going to hold the cardboard up if you're two-handed?
Yeah, because I presumed it was going to be some kind of a cardboardy headset or something,
like the Google cardboard thing.
Yeah, maybe with a Velcro strap or whatever, and then you just detach, and it worked really well like a phone. You slip it in, and there you go, and you just take the controllers off. But to have the controllers on the side and hold it onto your face like a periscope is just a bit bizarre.
It's not quite clear yet, and it's a few weeks, literally only a few weeks away from coming. They're rolling it out really quickly. But I think it's Nintendo. They're bound to have actually got a way for it to work, and I've no doubt it'll actually work really well. But it's just that initial thoughts. People are going, It's very strange. Very strange.
I think Stately Stew makes a good point. He's saying, how good would Breath of the Wild look in VR?
It would look amazing.
Wouldn't it? It'd be awesome.
Yeah. I think it might be a bit trippy, though.
It's also, and this is the thing where the clever tech will have to come in. I believe it's currently, if you don't play it in VR, it's only 30 frames a second.
Mm-hmm.
So you need much more than 30 frames a second to get a smooth VR experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it is going to be really interesting on how they handle that. But they're saying they're doing it, and it's only a couple of weeks away, so we will no doubt find out soon.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You get a little bit sweaty playing VR. Your head with that massive headset on. So is the cardboard just going to eventually degrade with your forehead sweat? Or
we won't be sharing pictures of our Google Cardboard that we built out
we
of
just
a
have
pizza
the
box.
imprint of the label on your forehead.
So yeah, but it looks really interesting, and it'd be great to see what they actually do with the whole of that Labo set.
Yeah. Stuart Cullen has just said in the chat, it is in our show notes too, so we're not nicking any of your ideas, but he's just put Labo VR discuss cheapish thrill or wheel bin fodder. So I think it has the potential to be really good. It just depends on how well they execute it.
Well, as I say, Google Cardboard, wheelie bin fodder in the end.
Yeah, especially that one because it was made terribly.
It was.
Yeah.
I did come across the proper laser cut ones that we had done the other day.
Oh
yeah, I still have some of those.
They were good, weren't they?
They are nice. Yeah. Right. Anyway, so more news, and I suppose arguably the biggest news story in gaming of the week, excluding the BAFTAs, is Borderlands 3 got a release date.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I absolutely nailed it in your little sweepstake. I said 13th of September.
You did.
I nailed it.
You nailed it several hours after the release date was announced.
Didn't close the competition. More for you.
Yeah, and you didn't win anything because there was no prize. But it's coming on the 13th of September. Not long to wait then. It's one of these that's just popping up. We've kind of known it's been in development for a long time. But yeah, it's coming soon. It's coming soon. And excited.
Yeah. And they've also announced today, I think it was today, I've seen something that you don't have to fight over loot. So it's all similar to most games now that on co-op games where you get your own loot.
That's true, because it was definitely the first two, wasn't it, where you had to decide which one of you as a co-op team took the loot. And it was all right if you were a lower ranked person. It just meant you end up with better weapons most of the time, even if they were the crap ones that the other person didn't want. But it was always a race to who can grab it the fastest. And it was good. It was good 10 years ago, because I'm sure we've done a podcast on this recently. But it needed slightly updating, doesn't it, for now?
Yeah. I'm excited about Borderlands 3 and, going on to become full looter, shooter.
Yeah.
I'm going to move this on swiftly. So we very, very, very briefly mentioned BAFTAs, but they've happened this week. What does everybody think of the winner of Best Game? Does everybody know what it is? Because you two are looking a little bit puzzled already.
I was about to say, could anybody tell me what is the winner of the Best Game?
God of War.
Yeah. That's an interesting shout. So when was Red Dead Redemption 2 included? Or is it
in the list?
Is it in next year's?
No, it was in the list. It didn't win anything, actually.
Wow.
Bizarrely, that game's kind of been completely undershadowed. I don't know what you want to class it as, but Red Dead Redemption 2 is great, but I don't know. It just doesn't seem to be doing anything.
Yeah, it's just gone quiet. That's the really weird thing. It's such a furore at launch, and it's just gone very strange. Anyway, so it was God of War took home that. It took home best voice acting for the guy who played the Stranger, and I think it took away a couple of other awards as well. Well deserved, because it is an absolutely phenomenal game.
It's got audio achievement, music, narrative, the performer, and audio achievement.
Yeah, it was very well deserved. But I think what's interesting on a number of things that have been reported on it is that for once the BAFTAs actually didn't go for like an indie darling. It did go for one of the big budget production things, which they said when they get compared to the Oscars for video games, actually it is quite interesting.
Yeah, and just because Stu will kill us if we don't mention it, best British game obviously went to Forza Horizon 4, which is well deserved.
Yeah.
It's nice that's winning that. The guys over in Leamington Spa are winning that. Best multiplayer game was A Way Out, which I think is quite interesting because I've not played it.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a really good co-op experience.
Yes, it has. Yeah, and I've not tried it. The weird thing is, it's good and bad. So you can buy a copy, and then you can say to a mate, "Play it with me," as far as I'm aware. But they don't get achievements for it because technically they've not brought it. But you can both play it together.
Yeah.
So you and Andy could play it. One of the three of us, and you can play that through, and only one person has to buy it. But the other person won't get achievements, which is good and bad.
And that's how they're approaching the co-op Wolfenstein game that's coming out at the end of July. You'll have I think they're calling it a buddy pass, and you give that to as many friends as you like. You play, one at once. But yeah, you can crack on with it, but not gain the achievements. It sounds like a nice idea to make sure you've always got a co-op partner. Yeah,
just make sure you just brought it once. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've got one more bit of news. I don't know about you guys.
Sorry, I think you might be goading him now, Ali.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
One more bit of news. Rumours about the setting for the next Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah.
And it popped up in The Division.
Stevenage.
Close. Very close. Norse mythology. Looks like it's going to be Norway. There's a couple of posters kicking around in certain parts of Washington, D.C., which appear to show a Viking assassin.
Yeah, that would be amazing if they do it right. So far, the Egyptian stuff was great. Then you obviously went on to Spartans and Greek mythology and stuff, and then going on to this will be potentially really good.
It's got that potential. It just makes me wonder, with God of War kind of setting itself up for a new trilogy in that world, will we start to feel oversaturated very quickly?
Maybe, but then Norse mythology has kind of been not overlooked, but you don't seem to get a lot of games of it. But then obviously it could be like battle royale games, and we'll suddenly get swamped with them, and we'll get sick to death of it.
Very true.
Zombies and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, what else is just happening over in that corner? What's the listeners' feedback, Ali?
Cornwolf Corner.
Let's cue him in.
He can't speak until you play that.
There's a lot of talk about Labo VR. There's a lot of people moaning that I said brought and not bought, but who cares?
We're listening to him podcasting with us for 6 months and God knows how long with everyone else. Is it Kev that's saying it? Because no,
it's Stu. But then I just go them. You just have to say it now. Sorry for my shocking English. Who cares?
I mean, I'll be honest, Ali. I have edited extraneous R's out of things that you've said before in podcasts.
You love it. I'll give you some extra work to do. Randy Pitchfork, Pure Magic, or Creepy Uncle from Fury AC3. I have no idea what he's talking
Uncle,
about.
I think.
Pitchfork or Pitchford?
Is that an autocorrect? Randy Pitchfork.
Randy
That does sound like a porno name, doesn't it?
Maybe Stu's watching something else that we're not aware of at the same time. In which case, he will be a creepy uncle.
Stu said that the Game of the Year edition of Forza Horizon 4 is $24.99 and landed this week.
I forgot he's on commission from Turn 10, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
Yes. Okay. Right. So we'll move on then, and it's over to Traffic and Travel with Brian.
And now, an idiot with the Traffic and Travel.
Unfortunately, Brian didn't make it today. He's stuck in traffic.
Oh.
He said something about there was a breakdown on the A19, and then he just went off in like a 20-minute diatribe, and I think he was talking about the film Falling Down. He kept talking about Angelica Jolie's husband.
Oh?
I think he means Michael Douglas. I tried to tell him he was married to Catherine Zeta-Jones, but I don't know.
Oh, well, let's see if he arrives before the end of the show.
The last thing he said was, "What's that guy been in since?" And I said, "Ant-Man." And his response was that with Deckman? So, yeah, that was it, really.
Beep, 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 beep.
That's all I've got, really.
Traffic and travel update.
And now,
In association with Codec
and
Momentum.
now, an idiot with the traffic and travel.
Let's kill that.
I wish he'd killed the joke.
Wasn't that bad?
Whoa, it's Howlin' Mad Murphy! Your eyes in the sky with Chopper Dave! And here is the traffic and travel update in association with CodecMoments.com, where the traffic is always light.
Why didn't you use that one? That's brilliant.
We've got a lot going on here. Right, what's coming up now?
So I suppose it's the bit everybody's actually listening for. It's the rundown of the Codec Momentum leaderboard. Which,
Codec Momentum. Get some Codec Momentum.
Thank you,
It's the
Colin.
Codec Momentum update show in association with Codec Moments. Codec Momentum.
Somebody should not give you flashing buttons.
Codec Momentum. Codec Momentum.
I love it. It's great. We should do this all the time.
That would too much fun.
Yeah. So yeah, we've deliberately kept the leaderboard off the website for the moment, just to make people try and listen to this. So, haha, you've all been suckered in. And yeah, it's time to update how we actually did through March. And you know what? I think we've said this before, and I think it was probably November last year that was our most joined Codec Momentum month up until March. We've had a serious amount of games put through, mostly Saintly Stewart again, but actually a lot of effort from everybody, and there's a lot being going on. Tons of double ups. Bulletstorm was popular out there for that. Lego Movie Finisher was nearly a massive coup. Unfortunately, Son didn't finish it, and therefore hasn't scored any points. But it was a good month, a very good month. So let's run through them.
In 16th place, you've stitched me up with this one because I haven't a clue how to pronounce this. Lucindy, is it?
Lucindienne, the artist formerly known as Kelly Ho.
Oh, ho!
Axel Jim Duggan's back.
In 15th, it's Kevney.
In joint 12th, we've got Kishnabi or Kiss Me Babe, Kaiser Sose, and myself.
And in at 11, it's Square Freak.
At number 10, you've got our very own Codec Moments.
Yeah. And in 8th, jointly, S Barnett 82 and Damocles 693.
In number 7th is Anya 6.
We've got a joint 5th with Tainted Shirt and Afro Gear, who retains 5th despite actually finishing nothing in March.
I can't believe this, but Clinical Andy is actually in 4th. He's actually finishing games.
How am I still there? This is amazing.
It's because you've taken a leaf out of Stu's book and just doing any mobile game going.
No, actually, I'll be honest. I think the majority of the points I had this month were from the double up on Bulletstorm.
I think you maybe even had a couple of double ups this month. It was, quite impressive. In 3rd, I'm probably still very unhappy with it, it's Vita Fan 9.
In 2nd, VDJOMB.
And that is a surprise leap up there. It was the Bulletstorm double up. There were some finishers. There were 100% momentums. And had Colin finished his Lego Movie finisher as well, that would have been a serious point haul for Connor, last month's draw winner.
Yeah.
But in first, it is the person who put through 15 games last month, Saintly Stewart. Congratulations, sir. You are top of the leaderboard.
Sorry. I think what I meant was...
Get some Codec Momentum!
Right, so well done, Stanley Stewart. Good work being at the top of the leaderboard. I'm very impressed. Still, I'm disappointed I'm not second.
Well, you're going to have to put some extra effort in. You've dropped a couple of places.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. My output this month wasn't great.
No,
I'm just in shock that Kishinabe and myself are joint 12th. Who'd have thought that?
Quite amazing,
at the end of last
isn't
year.
it? Yes. So, yeah, if anybody wants to change their positions on the board, go and pledge a game. Get them going. Get those games finished. Double up with people. Get your finishes in. Do whatever it takes. But the key is just clear that pile of shame.
We do actually have a word from our number one contender.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Stuart Neal, and I endorse this message.
So there you go. Good motivating speech there.
Yeah. Good words. I suppose we've got to move on to probably one of the more important parts of the month, and that is the prize draw.
Yeah, do it.
As we're all looking around at each other saying, who's printed out the raffle tickets
No,
and stuck them in the tombola?
I left that to you two while I was sorting this out.
Got it in
Do you
there,
remember?
yeah.
Do you remember what I said? Come on.
No.
Make sure that there's everything's sorted. There's no there's no messing about. Nobody forgets to press record, anything like that.
Yeah. You led us to believe that.
Got my Andy Brown cosplay hat, if that's any help. We can pick it out of that.
Okay.
Is there a doctor in the house? Yes, a doctor of the misconstructional features of polygranular graphite.
This man's dead.
You just enjoying that far too much. Okay, Ali, come on, draw us a winner.
Oh, a little Russell. And it is, you won't believe it, Saintly Stewart.
No, not the man who put the most entries in the hat last month.
It was.
There you go. That's
I mean,
that's
I suppose
probability.
I suppose
action.
statistically, yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Just got more chances.
just hold that bit of paper up to the camera for us, so I can see.
Zing.
Yeah. So and it was for shock troopers as well. So that is a £10 equivalent gaming voucher coming to you, Mr. Neil. Excellent. Well done, sir.
To be sure.
What do the listeners think about that, Ali?
They're happy. They're happy for Stu. They're all saying well done. Stu said thank you. And Square Freak and Kev are surprised they're not in last. So that's all good.
He's hungry like a wolf, a corn wolf.
Sorry.
Best one yet.
Right. Okay. So where do we go from here?
So, Andy, please tell the lovely listeners how they can get involved.
Right. Okay. Well, if you want to get involved in Codec Momentum, all you need to do is go to codecmoments.com and put your entry in there by following the link to the Codec Momentum 2019 page. You can submit your game that you're interested in completing. And that's it, really. You can choose whether you want to do a finisher, which is for a big game. Are you going to go for the platinum, the 1,000 Gs, some other arbitrary, 100% completion thingy. Yeah. And then for smaller games, we've got a new category, which is the 100%, where you can fully rinse a smaller, shorter game and go for, I think that's 3 points, 2 points.
2 points.
I stand corrected.
2 points.
And then a normal Codec Momentum, which is just finishing the story. The story mode of any game is a 1 point entry every month. If you get a double up with your friends, then you can double whatever number of points that you would be getting anyway for that game.
Yeah, that is correct.
Nice. Well, that's good. Can we do my thing now?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because you've not put it in the...
No.
Yeah, all right
No.
then. Here we go.
You ready?
It's time for another Codec Call quiz.
Right, I need you not to look at this screen. Okay.
Oh, here we go.
Right.
Stitch me up time.
So,
Okay, no, I will do this properly, Ali. You can see where, because we are videoing each other on this at least, so you can see where
Yeah.
my hand is, and I cannot
I can see his
the screen.
reflection in his glasses.
You can see the reflection. That would be, if you could cheat that way, that would be the ultimate. That'd be amazing. So basically, it is a pile of shame themed quiz.
Okay.
So I've got a few people here. Have you got a pen and a piece of paper, Ali?
I always have a
Can
pen
you
and piece
can you
of paper.
keep score for us?
I'll
So
fix
what
it
I'm
probably.
going to do is I'm going to tell you the number of games that somebody has on their pile of shame. I'm going to tell you, obviously, the most logical way to measure somebody's pile of shame is by stacking the games end to end, thus giving us a length in meters of somebody's pile of shame. And I'm going to name a thing. I'm going to name a thing, and then what I want you to do is just tell me: is their pile of shame taller or shorter than that thing?
Okay, and have they measured it in DVD case size, Blu-ray case size, Switch case size, or Vita case size?
Everything is done to standard PS4 size because we are obviously all PS4 fanboys.
Oh, okay, that's
Take it
all
up,
right.
take it up in
Yeah.
the comments. Yeah.
Yeah. Xbox, baby.
Same size box. Don't matter.
I mean, to be fair, they are identical. So I could have
Well,
been less
apart from
inflammatory.
The Xbox have got that stupid thing where the disc is on the other side.
Oh. Right. Anyway, go on then. Go on. Have at it.
Okay, so I'm going to go, first of all, just a nice example. My pile of shame taken from my Backloggery account, which is at least a year out of date, so I don't even want to think about what it really is, stands at 43 meters when you stack them all end to end. And this is, of course, taking the assumption that everything is a PS4 game. You know, we're not taking into account digital. So I want to know, is my pile of shame, is it bigger than the distance between the glass walkway above Tower Bridge and the River Thames?
This was an example. Do you want one of us to answer it?
43 meters. Oh, this is, yeah, of course I do.
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say the bridge is higher.
I presume Matt was going first, yeah?
Yeah, why not?
I have done now and I've got it right, so I am sticking with that one.
Actually,
baby.
no, you got it wrong. It's 42 meters. The bridge. I just can't read.
Can't press the right buttons. I can't read.
Yeah, I can't read. So no, you're wrong.
This is the record button as well.
That was. Who started me off coughing? It's like.
Sorry.
All right. Okay. So who do you want to go for next? We've got you, Matt. We've got Stephen Barnett. We've got the Square Freak, Stuart Neal, Stuart Cullen. Who do you want? You had the last one wrong, so you can choose Ali's.
I could choose Ali's.
Yeah.
Right.
Vita Fan 9.
Ali has to do Stuart Cullen.
Stuart Cullen. Okay. So Stuart, I mean, Stuart gave me a lot of numbers, and quite frankly, I couldn't be bothered to do the maths on all the percentages and everything he gave me. So I just took the first value he gave me, which was 556, which stacks up to 94.5 meters.
Wow.
So what I want to know is, how does that compare to Big Ben, aka the Elizabeth Tower in Westminster? What's taller? Is it Stuart's pile of shame or Big Ben?
Stuart's pile of shame.
Stuart's pile of shame? No, I'm afraid Big Ben is taller than Stuart's pile of shame. At 96 meters, it clocks in a whole meter and a half taller.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a tall tower.
It is a tall tower.
That's a tall pile of shame.
I'm going to choose yours, Matt. So Flameboy gave me a number of 462 games as his pile of shame. So that's 78.5 meters.
Okay.
Is that taller than a giant sequoia tree from the Giant Sequoia National Monument located in Sierra Nevada?
Yes, it is.
It is. Yes, the sequoia tree, of course, being an average of 76 meters tall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Ali. This is a good one. So Vita Fan 9 has got 70 games on his pile of shame. About 20 of those are PS4, and the rest are all digital, I think, from Steam. So his pile of shame clocks in at 12 meters, and I want to know, is that taller than a Brachiosaurus?
No.
That's right, a Brachiosaurus is 13 meters tall.
Get in there.
Yeah, that's good. Right. So, let me have a look here. Andy Piddy has about 800 games on his pile of shame, Matthew. That is a whopping 136 meters. Now, is that taller than the original estimated height before erosion of the Great Pyramid of Giza?
Yes. It's taller.
It is, yeah. So it's 6 meters taller than the estimated height of the Great Pyramid of Giza.
I just can't understand why he's got 800 games. Does that man not play anything?
Well, from one extreme to another, Callum Main told us that he had only 5 games on his pile of shame.
Send that man some games.
Which, three of which are part finished, 2 aren't even started, and 1 is still in the wrapper. So
rookie numbers. He needs to get them numbers up.
that pile of shame doesn't even stack up to a meter when you put them all end to end. So, is his pile of shame taller than Vern Troyer, who played Mini Me?
Is he
in the
taller
Austin
or
Powers film?
shorter than Tyrion Lannister?
Well, I don't know who that is.
No, you wouldn't imagine it. Yes, taller.
Taller, you're going with?
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Wow.
Get
It
in
is
there.
a whopping 4 centimeters taller than Mini Me. So, how many have we done each now? We've done what?
We're all square at 2 apiece.
We're all square at 2
I
apiece.
think we've had 4 questions each.
Okay. Kevney has a pile of shame that is a whopping 48 meters tall.
I presume games
Whoa.
and not Blu-rays, because it'd be.
Oh, we're not even going to Blu-ray here.
Yeah.
We'd be like,
It'd be at the moon.
risk of knocking out the ISS. Yeah, exactly. So, is Kevney's pile of shame taller than the Arc de Triomphe?
At 48 meters?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, the Arc de Triomphe. Triomphe. Do you know, when you say it enough, it just sounds wrong. The Arc de Triomphe is 49 meters tall.
Oh, nearly.
All right, Ali, this one to win.
Oh,
Nick Case reckons he's got about 100 games in his pile of shame. That's 17 meters when you stack them all on their ends. Imagine Los Angeles. You look up, see the Hollywood Hills. That big H. What's taller? Nick's pile of shame or that big H?
H.
No, the Hollywood H sign is 16 meters tall, you idiot. Everyone knows that. Right? Don't
Looks
they?
bigger on TV.
It looks bigger when you stack it up to a pile of games. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's still a draw then.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay, I'll go with this one. A Volkswagen Beetle is 4 meters long. Is Matt's pile of shame longer or shorter than a Volkswagen Beetle? Now you both got to give me a value here.
What, as in how long we think it is?
Yeah. How long is Matt's pile of shame?
Let's go with an average 6 meters.
I'm going to say about 3.5 meters.
Okay.
I like
value
that
I've-
Ali thinks it's longer.
The value I've got here is
Well, I give the average size, Matt.
3.4 meters. So Matt clinches it there with his knowledge of his own pile of shame. Admittedly,
Yes.
that might have introduced
You could touch it.
some bias.
Yeah, it may have been there, yes.
But do you know, I'm not even going to apologise for it. So I think one last trip to over to Cornwall Corner.
Have you been missold PPI? Have you been involved in an accident that wasn't your fault? Have you got an outrageous opinion? Then make Ali say it out loud. It's Cornwolf Corner.
It's been pretty quiet while we've been doing that quiz, to be fair.
Everyone's left.
Yeah. Square Freak was saying that I'll butcher the name again. Is it Lucindy?
Lucendian.
Kelly. Oh, her pile of shame is 550 games. Stu's fallen asleep, and Stuart Barnett just said bottom.
Well, I think that sums it all up, really, doesn't it?
And then Stephen Bonnet, sorry.
Stuart Bennett.
Stuart Bennett.
I do that all the time. He just doesn't know to edit it out.
Not this time.
Yeah, I think he's probably got an inkling.
So no, thanks to everybody for joining in and letting us know your thoughts through the whole of this broadcast.
I quite enjoy that. It seems to work quite well, didn't it? It's nearly an
Yes.
hour. We'll put it out as it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, bonus.
So play us out, Mr. Brown.
All right, well, if you want to get in touch, then you can tweet us at Codec Moments. If you want to get involved in Codec Momentum, then go to codecmoments.com. And until next time, bye.
Bye.
Drop.